clouds to breathe.
Hello everybody and welcome to the PentaPERSPECTIVE of The Flame and the Flood by the Molasses Flood LLC. This is a game that had been in early access or kickstarted, whatever which one you want to talk about, for a little while, and it had been released last year for a limited few early in the year last year, and then has recently, within the past like 6 months, came out. I don't remember exactly when it came out, don't quote me on that, but I do know, however, that it has come out within the last, year. And I had not gotten a chance to actually play it. I was excited about it when it first launched, or when it was first announced, but I didn't really get a chance to play it because last year was a super busy year for me, as most of you know. However, I've been playing a bunch of it lately, and by a bunch, I mean I've gotten probably about 8 to 10 hours into it, died a bunch of times. For those that don't know what this game is, it is a procedurally generated adventure survival game. For the people out there that it's saying that it's a roguelite, it is not a roguelite. It's one of those terms nowadays that gets used a lot. I use it a lot for a lot of games. It has some elements of that where permadeath is there, but you don't unlock anything. There's no progression system from playing. You just continue to try and do a run. It's essentially the Mississippi River Oregon Trail, if you will, where you stop, scavenge, survive, hunt, and die. Sometimes from horrible injuries, sometimes from a boar, sometimes from a snake bite, which I've died from many times because I don't ever see those sons of bitches. So we're just going to jump into a new campaign here. Recommended for experienced flamers, permadeath, fewer supplies, stats diminish as increased rate. We're just going to start on the regular stuff. Scout options, we are going to have... See, now, there are two different dogs you can choose from, but I generally always have Aesop, because Aesop is this cute little Scottish Terrier, I believe he is. It's hard to tell with the graphic style, because the graphic style is very unique, but it's also a little off-putting. And that's one of the only things one of the only major complaints I have about it is while it's colorful, it's vibrant, it's really pretty, and the resolution is just, it shimmers in certain areas of the game. The art style is kind of like a 3D Valiant Hearts, where it's like, I feel it would have done a lot better in 2D rather than 3D. Like a Don't Starve style of game, like that art style where it's three-dimensional but it's 2D sprites. As you can see, the art style is a little wonky. I enjoy it. It's not a big complaint, but it's also one of those things where it's not my favorite thing about the game. However, the music in this game is above and beyond. It's superb. And I wish I knew the name of the composer. God damn it. I'm actually going to look it up here real quick for you guys. Alright, it was Chuck Ragan that did the game soundtrack, and I absolutely adore this game soundtrack. As you may have noticed from the opening of the video, that's one of the gorgeous songs. It's kind of a adventurous bluegrassy, not bluegrassy, what am I trying to feel? It's like a southern rock kind of twang where you're going down the river and all of a sudden you just got this gravelly voiced male vocalist that's just awesome. So here we are as our random lady, which is not random at all. You play as the same person every time. You can look at these things, scout basics, player inventory, all these kinds of things. You need to keep an eye on your health, temperature, thirst, and rest, sleepiness. You can gather ingredients, including feathers and such things. You can hit space to shoo away crows. As far as I have played in this game, and this is just me, as far as I played in this game, there is no combat. In fact, I've died more often from trying to kill things than anything else. The Black Wolf. The wolf is an archetype of Raven, the beast of the waste and desolation. Theodore Roosevelt. You cannot survive long in an encounter with a wolf. You need traps to kill it. Press space to frighten the wolf, a little time to flee. Yep, exactly. I should have read that when I first got into the game. However, my first couple runs, I didn't read that. Ooh. Jar, water filters, rags. All these loot containers are randomly generated. Or procedurally generated. I guess technically this would be a randomly generated because it doesn't follow a real algorithm. It's just like, okay. It does follow an algorithm if you think about it, because you find rags and alcohol at the church and... Quick use menu. You can use my quick use menu here with your 1, 2, and 3 keys. However, I have no need for those currently. The game follows a very simple pattern, and if you are familiar with games like Oregon Trail, Orion Trail, FTL, games like those where you do S-task. Task in this game, make it as far down the river as you can and escape. That's it. Like, that is goal. However, it is not easy, as we're going to see here in a few minutes when we get on our raft and push off on our journey on this run. Oh, the music. Raft controls are pretty easy. Arrow keys to move yourself. Spacebar to use a little bit of your stamina down here to shift yourself in a direction with your rudder, which at the moment you don't even have a rudder. You can update your ship. You upgrade your ship though. Don't think that you can't. You can upgrade your ship and everything. I do love the music in this game though. It's the of all the things in this game, the soundtrack, the muddied soundtrack that it has is by far the shining spot in the entire game. And you guys know that I'm a big fan of video game music and games that have great soundtracks, but this is one of them that's like, ooh boy, oh, don't want to hit the rock. You can collide with things. I'll actually show you guys just so you can see it. You collide, your raft health goes down. You eventually need to find ports that you can repair yourself with, but you want to try and avoid as much things as possible because it's not easy in this game to repair yourself. It's not easy to come across supplies. It's not easy to come across things where you help. See, region of 1 of 10. There are 10 regions: deep country farms, camps, and wilderness. This is one of those first areas that is kind of procedurally generated, where I'll come across areas on the map here, which should be popping up in just a moment once we hit like 1.1 or 1.2 miles. And you can find little loot stashes or loot caches on the side. There's our first one. It happens to be a church, which I don't exactly like the churches. I'm going to move up a little faster. The churches just tend to have things that early game I'm not super interested in, but because of how early it is, I'm going to stop there anyway. So we're going to stop at our first stop, and this is kind of and we're entering Mearns. The church, good shelter, often has rags, stitching kits, and alcohol. Oh, the music in this game, guys! I love the music in this game. We're going to take these saplings. Those can come in handy. Early hint for people playing that are interested in playing this game: get cattails. Trust me, get cattails. You can go in the church and sleep, but we're going to explore a little bit. The controls in the game, I mean, the controls in the game control fine. It's just the camera is by far the worst part of the controlling of the game, because you cannot actually rotate your camera. So you oftentimes miss things that you shouldn't miss. Let's shoo away this crow and get a feather. Feathers are good for making arrows. I've only made an arrow. Oh, it's up on the tree. So I can't get that. Awesome. And we don't need to sleep, so we're not going to sleep. So this is a pretty boring area. Not much of anything at all. So we're going to hop back on our raft, and we're going to try and boost over to the right. I don't know if you guys saw it in the game, but there is a loot cache Over here, there we go. We got alcohol from it. Got to keep an eye out for those caches on the side of the river because they can actually benefit you more than you may know. So this is a campsite which we're going to go to. Got to actually make it there. Old Smiley Campground often has flint and always has a lit fire. And it's not raining, so the fire won't be out, which is good because we can camp there and possibly cook some things if we have things to cook, or just sit down and rest and get a little warm because we don't need the warmth right now, but that's one of the mechanics in the game. Gonna go down here and hopefully find some found some Devil's Trumpet. Not much right now. Dandelions are good. Dandelions can save you in a moment of starvation. So those are always nice to keep a bundle of them on hand. Multi-lump and flints. Pretty good. Another dandelion here. You can use your dog's backpack as a place to carry things, extra things for you, and you can upgrade that, which I'll show you once we get to the campfire. I want to make sure we get everything first, which is hard because the camera angle doesn't actually rotate. So you may miss things, but... So we're going to sit down to the fire real quick. Oh, we're going to steal the charcoal real quick first. Then we're going to... Oh, we can't steal it because our inventory's full. So we're actually just going to go in here. Wrong one. Here. Nope, here. Nope, here. Gotta remember my controls. And Aesop's bag is full. So we're going to put our feathers in Aesop's bag. We'll put our flint in Aesop's bag. I'm going to throw our saplings in Aesop's bag. That's right, because Aesop carries over stuff between runs. I just punched my microphone, sorry. He carries things over from separate runs. I forgot about that. So we're going to... Actually, that's pretty good. So we are going to sit down. It's getting late. It's about evening right now. Let's take the charcoal. And before we take that, we're actually going to put that in Aesop's bag so we have extra room. Now we're going to sit down at the fire. And this gives you an opportunity to craft. So we're going to make... we don't really have the necessary things to make that, but we do have some cattails, so we can make that, and we can make our stone knife early, which is needed for many, many things, including stone hammer, splints, arrows. Well-crafted arrow work of our strong flips. I've made arrows. I have no idea what to use with them. Use them for, because honestly, I've never made a weapon in this game. I know we can make arrows. And I've made them. Trust me, I've made them, but I never figured out what I'm using them for. Metal hammer schematic. Add it to the dictionary. Dirty, jerby. Whatever you want to call it. Add it to the dictionary. Jesus, Scott. Use your brain. Aesop's bag is full. Then we're going to eat those. Get out of here. Oh, I can't eat those. That's right. Well, then we'll just get rid of them. Don't need them, Aesop. Come on. Oh, it's getting nighttime. So how far have I made it in this game? Have I beaten it? That's a question that I'm sure people are wondering. No, I have not beaten this game. Over the course of the 8 to 10 hours I've played, I have made it 7.6 miles. I've made it to the 4th or 5th area in the game, but I have not actually beaten it. That's not good. We're not going to make it there, sadly. But there is a cache right there that we can grab. Assuming our inventory will take it, and we got more alcohol. People leaving alcohol on the river. Damn hillbillies. It's just soothing, really. Another cache there. That is, totally, there's 2 of them. Holy crap. I'm taking the damage for this. That was actually poor damage. Don't do what I just did. Whatever you do, don't do what I just did. That was a bad decision. It was worth it, but it was a bad decision. I'm skipping the church, because, like I said, ooh, but there's a bait shop over here, but there's... Oh my god, I'm trying to shift away. I was trying to shift away from the coast. Wildbrand Springs. And I don't believe you run into your first black wolf until you get to like the 3rd area. So we should be safe. Mulberries are good to get. Yucca plants are actually good to get, but I'm not interested in them right now. Churchgoer. Oh, now we need to go to a church. Let's take the campfire. Our inventory's full. Wrong button. Move those onto ASAP because our raft components, raft schematics rather, are really useful. We will consume all of this. We will consume all of this. And we will get rid of these. I don't need those. I'll take the campfire. The sumac plant I'm actually going to take, and the aloe plant I'm going to take. I already have aloe, so I'm not worried about the stack. And then the sumac plant is actually, like, the detriment to all of my runs has been from... not all of my runs, but from many of my runs has been snake bites. Sumac is one of the ingredients in making the anti-venom that you can use to heal snake bites. Which, of course, I've never made because I always end up dying before I can make it. Or, of course, you know, I get a sumac plant, assume that I'm not going to actually get bitten by a snake, drop the sumac, and then the next area I go to, I become... Oh, no, I'm wet. The next area I go to, of course, I get bit by a snake. I don't need these. Get out of here. I don't need those. I do want salt, and I don't know why. Get the charcoal from there. Inventory's full. You know what? We don't need the charcoal. That's fine. We're going to move on. We're wet, and we're ill-equipped. Ill-equipped basically means that for this point in the game, we should be... Or not for this point in the game. For these conditions, I should have better equipment. Whether it be insulated gear if it's cold out. Oh, Jesus. So we're going to try and make our way over to this area because that is... You know what? Ah, shit. We need to go to a church anyway. Fudge. We'll go to the next church. That's fine. We don't need to go to that church. That church is not important at all. But this area is because this... Our ship is about like half the hull is destroyed, but this is a raft upgrade and repair kit, or lift, that you can use to repair your raft. But before we do that, we're going to see if there's any loot. We'll use the Marina. I don't have any lumber. Oh, that's unfortunate. But these are all things you can upgrade to your raft with. You can get rudders, motors, sturdy frames, stoves. Raft shelter stove is really nice because then you can cook on your raft, which is really nice. The shelter, which is good because it keeps you from harsh conditions. Storage is fantastic because it upgrades the storage on the raft. And the water purifier is something I've never gotten because, well, it's one of those later game things. But... However, I will show this little bit here. You have... I always hit that button. You do have raft stash that you have to upgrade for. And that's what I was showing you in there, where you can upgrade yourself... Get out of there. To... I thought I had lumber. I guess I was used to the run that I was doing previous to this. Maybe he's not a Scottish Terrier. Someone in the comments, let me know what kind of dog, what breed of dog Aesop is. I'm trying to escape this. I put myself in a weird position here. I'm not going to be able to make it over to the bait shop. Or that loot stash. I'll be able to make it to this one. Fishing line, and look at how we're getting bloodied up. We are on our way to death. This game is not easy. Have I mentioned that? This game is not easy at all, by any means. In fact, the farthest I made it was like pure skill and obviously RNG luck from the generation of what loot I was able to get and what areas spawned. Like, I got 3 or 4 churches in a row, and so while I dislike getting to the churches because, oh my god, the loot that you get there is not the best. It's still bandages, alcohol, rags, stitching kits, as you can see here. It's all things that, you know, for that run, I was just destroyed from like a supply standpoint. I was tired, I was sore, I was wet, I was starving. Like, it was all things that were bad. Get out of here, bro. I'm not gonna take your feather because I don't have room for it. Unless I do. Do I have room in ASOP for the feather? I think I have room in ASOP for the feather, but the feather landed there. ASOP probably has room for it, but take the alcohol. Oh shit, that's not good. That's up. Yeah, now we got a broken bone. That's not good. You know what? I don't want to do it. I kinda don't want to do this. So we're gonna come over here, seeing as it's daytime. We'll open up our little inventory here, and we're going to make a campfire. That way, I can build a splint. Because we are destroyed. Gas bombs are good. But we don't need anything else right now. I do, however, need to go in here. Here. Where is it? Here? Yeah, here. And you can cure your afflictions in this page. This is your affliction page. Obviously, these are your goals and stuff. So, churchgoer, if I find a... Did I get the leather kit for that? I didn't. I don't know how to complete those. Oh well. I don't know how to complete those. We're tired, but we're also hungry. What do we got for food here? We can eat some cattails, which actually surprisingly are, like I said earlier, a good lifesaver at late points in the game. Move to ASOP. We can't. So, what we're gonna do real quick is we're just gonna go in here and we're gonna do some sleeping. We're gonna sleep for a whole 8 hours. That way we're not tired anymore. Hopefully not get ambushed in the night. We are probably super thirsty, and I don't believe we have a jar of water. We do, however, have a jar of, or a bottle, which works perfectly here. And now we can fill the jar and take a drink, because over here you can fill your empty jars. It is clean water because it's from the river instead of or it's from the rain, not from the river. The river, I believe, is polluted, or is, still needs to be purified, but I said raft. I said raft. There we go. I said raft. 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 Get out of here. Get out of here. What a shit. Yeah, whatever. We're gonna go over here. We are not going to make it, are we? Oh god, our raft is hootenanny flat. Source of wild food and clean water. It's a farmstead. We got some penicillin from something. Oh, bunnies. It's good to not have a broken bone anymore, though. That's for damn sure. Inventory full. Get out of here, bro. You're annoying. You're annoying. Nothing back there. Old lumber. Gotta get the old lumber. Hold on. What are we... God damn it. What are we gonna take? What are we gonna drop? We're gonna drop the... multi-lump. Consume it. Fuck it. Ooh, that was not good, was it? Oh, that wasn't good. That wasn't good. I had a feeling. Oh... So you guys are going to see something real cool here. And I didn't do that on purpose so I'd die. That's right, I don't have any jars to fill with that stuff. I don't need any saplings. Oh, poison ivy as well. You know, you think I would have learned. I don't have time for you bunnies. I'm going to die. And if I go into my thingy here, you can see that those bars are slowly starting to raise. If I don't drink sumac tea, which I would actually have to drink 3 different sumac teas, which I'm not even able to make right now, if I remember correctly. Because I need clean water, fire, and 2 sumac, which I only have 1 sumac, and I would need 6 sumac to make my 3 teas, because I need 3 teas, because I have 3 parasites. But chances are we're not going to die from parasites. We're probably going to die on the river, because I usually play with this with the controller. We're moving on to our next area, though. That's good. Into area 2, but I usually play this with a controller, but yeah, that's not good. Oh, shit. But I'm playing this with a keyboard and mouse right now. Yep, we died. Okay. The Flame in the Flood by the Molasses Flood, LLC. This is going to show us our cause of death is drowning. Gives you a chance to continue, and after you click continue, it shows you all your accomplishments on your route, your starting point, how far you made it, the areas you stopped at, where you caught certain things. Like here's where I healed from wet, here's where I got a broken bone and got a splint, here's where I got parasites and poison ivy, and of course, just after I entered area 2 is where I died of drowning. However, if you click continue, a lot of people don't realize this about this game, you can actually restore a checkpoint anytime you enter a new area. So I can start here, however, why would I do that when I have poison ivy and 3 freaking parasites? Because I died 5 minutes later. So that's the Flame in the Flood, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you consider getting this game, because it is really good, but it is one of those misleading titles where everybody thinks it's like this Binding of Isaac style, a Don't Starve, rogue-litey kind of game, and it's not at all. It is a 3D adventure Oregon Trail style of game where you're basically going down a river, stopping at locations, and getting events to happen. There are events, there are storylines, that's why this campaign is here. There is actually a story. I'm not going to say anything about what happens at certain points in the game or anything like that, but you can also play the endless mode, which is kind of Oregon Trail, where it's like, how far can you make it? So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed getting the game. If you do have the game, please let me know if you enjoy it or not. And if you're not interested in the game, it's fine, because not everybody has to like games that I like, but I like this game. So the game Steam link is down in the comments. No, it's in the description. That's where it is. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is PentaPERSPECTIVE, and I hope to see you in the next video. Catch you later.